have liftoff. A very good evening. We were bopping away to the music. I hope you all were too. Yes, it's that time. Well, it's not really that time of the week. It's supposedly Mondays, but life has been very busy lately. So the postponement of Live Irish Myths is usually announced on the YouTube channel and the Mythical Ireland Facebook page. Apologies in advance, but I am actually going to have to postpone next Monday's edition because I am going to be giving a talk to an astronomy group in Ballyclare near Belfast next Monday evening. So we'll be postponing next week also. So just be prepared for that if you're trying to tune in at the usual time on a Monday. And we have fallen back. It's not sprung forward, and it's definitely our clocks went back an hour at the weekend. So there's probably a time difference, an unusual time difference between us and those of you in at least some of the states. I think there's, from what you have educated me about in recent years, there are some states where the clocks don't change. So interesting. So your time difference won't have changed, but if I'm not mistaken, we're 4 hours of a difference now between here and New York, and only 7 between here and Seattle, whereas we're normally 5 and 8. Anyway, that's by the by. This is episode number 347 of Live Irish Myths. We will be delving back into Lady Gregory's complete Irish mythology and Cuchulain of Muirthemne. Tonight's tale is called The Wedding of Maine Morgor. Almost sounds Tolkien-esque, doesn't it? So I hope you enjoy. Before we get there, of course, I have to say hello to people. If you're new to Live Irish Myths, please do feel free to join in the conversation by commenting, whether it's on YouTube or on the Mythical Ireland Facebook page. And we'll do our best to share your comments and join in the conversations. A lot of side conversations happen during these episodes too, which is always very welcome and great to see. The reason for the postponement from yesterday evening was the wonderful 4th annual Lugh Festival of Light here in Drogheda. That is a mythology themed event. And as you might have guessed, yours truly has a heavy involvement in that. And yes, my voice could be heard booming out across the main street here in Drogheda, speaking about history and myths and legends. And the big features of this year's displays were the story of the Morrigan and the story of Cuchulain and Ferdia. So I hope you got a chance to enjoy that. If you didn't, check out some of the photographs on the Mythical Ireland Facebook page and the Instagram channel. Anyway, let me say hello to a few people. First to comment tonight, shockingly, it's not Elaine Lingenfelter. It's Lily Shambles, who says, good evening. I hope all are keeping well, warm and dry. Well, certainly in here. Thankfully, the rain, by and large, stayed away during Lugh Festival of Light. And by the way, Lugh Elu Fada is the Irish name for County Louth, which is where I am right now, where I live. And County Louth is named after the Tuatha De Danann god, Lugh Lofada, or Lugh Samil Dornoch. Actually, that name of his name and his epithet are inscribed upon the county crest. So you will see Lugh Samil Dornoch on the county crest of County Louth. So it works in two ways. It's a largely mythologically themed event, and it's based in County Louth, which is named after. Is County Louth the only county? I think it is. The only county named after a Tuatha De Danann deity. Smallest county of all the 32 counties of Ireland. But I tell you, as my mother always said, there's good goods in small parcels. This is very true. Nico and Stephen are watching. Good evening, Anthony and Mythlix family. Tail wags to Saskia and Coda and all the mouses, Chucks and Maggie's furry friends. Nice day in Concho, Arizona. And bleh. Bleh? What's bleh? Bleh. That sounds funny. Is that a typo or does it mean something? So Saskia is Saskia. Saskia. I'm delighted to report after recent issue with her paw and being a bit lame, she seems to be in good form. Touch wood, she is 14. So, yeah, she was yelping earlier on to let us know that she wanted feeding. So that's a good sign. So, tail wags to all the furry friends who are watching with their owners. Amanda June Haggerty saying, woo, hello all. Beautiful day in Blarney today. Brilliant stuff, Amanda June. Hope you've settled in nicely to the old green sod. Adina Sparks is saying, afternoon, Anthony and the two. I hope all are well. It's a windy, cool day here in New Mexico. Now, hang on a second, Adina. When you say it's cool, what does that mean in real terms, right? Because I'm going to tell you the temperature here now in little old Era. It is 10 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit is 50. So that's what we would call cool, although it was cooler over the weekend. It got down to about 7 or 8 degrees on a couple of the evenings. And it is heading into winter. We are practically on the doorstep of Halloween and Samhain. So this is what we expect. Short days, long nights, and cold weather. Marilyn Whitney is saying, hello, Anthony and the Tua. Chilly but sunny day in Northampton. Leave for Inisheer in Western Ireland on Saturday. Brilliant stuff. Well, Gunnairi on Boherlat, Marilyn. I hope you have a great time in Ireland and looking forward to meeting you while you're here. And Scott Doherty is saying, greetings all. I thought Ireland had the time change over the weekend. You were absolutely right. It did indeed. And hello to Bill if he's watching there in the background. And even if he's not watching there in the background, hello to Bill anyway. So there you go. That's for free. Anthony says, Nico and Stephen, I got called a dingbat by my cousin Peggy in County Cork. I called her and asked if I may have missed you. I forgot about your time change in Ireland is before the US and Arizona doesn't do it. See, there you go. I'm being educated all the time. When are you coming to give a talk in Cork? Whenever you want me. Yeah, tell you. Just reach out and ask. It can be organised. Ola Conrad says, good evening from Denmark. Hello to all our Danish friends. Hope you're in good form, Ola, and that the cold evenings aren't biting too much. Anne McCallum is saying, hello, Anton and all the mighty Tua. I hope everything's in good form. It's a lovely sunny 14 Celsius. See, I mean, even in Northern Ontario, it's 14. Congratulations, one and all, for the amazingly wonderful, Drogheda Lou Festival. Brilliant photographs from your drone, Anthony, yeah? I left it till the last night of the festival to get the drone shots, but I was delighted to be able to get them because I tell you what, it started at 7. Drone was straight in the air at the start of the first show. And not long after I finished my droning, it started raining. So I was very lucky. Jacqueline Kelly Adams is saying, hello all. Our clocks go back on November the 2nd. Ah, there you go. I hope all is well with everyone listening from the dreary, chilly Columbia Gorge area. Good to see you again, Anthony. And you likewise, Jacqueline. Stay warm, stay bright, stay safe, and all of those things, you know. It is the winter time here in the Northern Hemisphere. Wait till the Southern Hemispherers join us now. And we may have to greet them slightly differently and say, I hope the sun is shining and it's balmy and warm. Linda Bird is saying hello from Maryland. Good afternoon to you, Linda. Hope you're in good form. Thanks for joining us. Leslie O'Neill says, good evening, everyone. Happy to be catching a live stream. Enjoyed the Lou Festival over the weekend. Brilliant stuff, Leslie. I didn't see you. I was busy running around with the old camera, taking as many pictures as possible. Harriet Hare says, good evening all. Watching on YouTube. Harriet, I think you're new to Live Irishmits. Haven't seen you before. You're very welcome. Hope you have a great time. And you'll get the warmest of welcomes from what we call the Mythflix tour. It's a little bit like Netflix, but because it's about mythology, it's Mythflix. 7 degrees in Denmark, drizzling for 4 days, but some beautiful golden colours in the forest of the Royal Hunting Grounds today. Sounds nice, although the dark and cold bit we could do without, which are just a facet of living in Northern Europe, isn't it? You know. Yes, we have settled in great, says Amanda June. We couldn't find housing, and our Airbnb host's sister took us in, and now they've pretty much adopted us. Such a lovely family. Brilliant stuff. Excellent. See, Irish hospitality. Hey, 65 Fahrenheit. Oh, yeah. That's cool for you, right? What is that in Celsius? That's 18 degrees. Oh, that's a balmy summer day for us. Their 4-year-old told their mom that she felt like the guests were family now. Lol. That's lovely. Brilliant. Delighted to hear it. I'm not surprised, because here in Ireland, we like to give people a warm welcome. A major facet of Irishness and the Irish people. Okay, Anthony, do not get distracted by the phone this evening, he says, while getting distracted by the phone this evening. So before we start the reading, hello. Rocio Marian Lopez says, hey, Mr. Anthony and Mighty Tua. I saw the pictures of the festival. It looks very fun and nice in contrast. My family are preparing for Dia de Muertos and the parades. They started last night as well until the 2nd of November. This is a thing all around the world, isn't it? This time of the year. What is what is that festival from India? Kigali, Diwali, isn't it? Yeah. So what is Dia de Muertos? Because Dia in Irish is God. Muertos, I gather, is dead. Is it the Eve of the Dead or something like that? A little bit like All Souls Day and Halloween and all of that. Wow. Yeah. Sounds like there's great celebrations going on there in Puebla in Mexico. Before we start proper tonight, I want to make you all jealous. I've acquired some acquisitions in the form of, I'm a bibliophile, as you know. You can see the evidence of that behind me on the shelves. Yeah, Day of the Dead. Okay. Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Sounds like a horror movie. Or maybe a comedy horror like Shaun of the Dead. No, never mind. Some new acquisitions to the library. Let me show you them one by one, making you all really, really jealous. We are going to check out, says Amanda June, the Dragon of the Shandon Parade in Cork on the 31st. That sounds exciting. Haven't heard of that. The Dragon of the Shandon. Wow. Sounds really, really interesting. Fill us in afterwards. Yes, so a number of volumes have found their way into the Mythical Ireland Library, and not in any particular order. Ulla says, bibliophile? I wouldn't have thought. Yes, I know. This one is called Music and the Stars. So I don't really know what it's about. Haven't really dipped into it yet. Mathematics in Medieval Ireland by Mary Kelly and Charles Doherty. Well, editors. Presumably there are individual chapters by different scholars. Yes, indeed. So that'll be interesting. That's one. The next one, any of you who are or have been students of Old and Middle Irish, or have been students of medieval studies in Ireland, will undoubtedly not only have heard of this, but have either owned a copy or borrowed it from the library. And I know that it's a very, very dense and scholarly work. And I know that it thrills some students and horrifies others because it is so academic. And that is the famous Old Irish, A Grammar of Old Irish by Rudolf Thurneisen. That's not a book that you would read from cover to cover, just put it that way. But yeah, that is, and this one reprinted in 1998 by the Dublin Institute for Advanced Studies, first published in 1946, in excellent condition, as new, you would say. Now, this one I'm really looking forward to reading. Strangely enough, says Ulla, piles of books find their way to my bookshelf too. No way. And I guess there's a guy on the other end of the screen there who's at least partly responsible for that. Partly. Not taking the credit or anything. This one is... actually, when was it published? Yeah, I'm going to keep you in suspense for a moment. You're like, which of these books will I have to rush out and order on the internet now or get from my local bookshop? 2008. The Irish Annals Their Genesis, Evolution and History by D.P. McCarthy. I have said a lot about the annals. We did several episodes, I think 4 or 5 episodes of Live Irish Myths a few years ago about the annals of Ulster, the annals of the Four Masters, the annals of Cheernock, etc., etc. And this is one I'm definitely looking forward to dipping into. Brilliant. The Irish annals, of course, were compiled by the monks. Think of them as chronicles. And for the AD period, they're extremely accurate because they record astronomical events. And modern astronomers are able to go back, look back in time with their software and say, yeah, that eclipse did happen on that day, as the analysts rightly say it did. This one looks interesting, and it's by an author who I haven't read much of his work, but the stuff that I've read, I've really, really, really loved. And that author and scholar is none other than John Carey. And this is a book that he published in 2007. And I have to say, I'm totally tantalized. It's called Ireland and the Grail. Yes, indeedy, by John Carey. Published by Celtic Studies Publications, Aberystwyth. That would be in Wales. And as I say, Carey's work, the work that I have read, has been fascinating. So yeah, that's another one I will be looking forward to dipping into. That's number 4 of 8. And there's hang on. Yeah, doesn't really matter. I'll find it. I'll talk about it again. This one published in 1977 by the Dublin Institute for Advanced Studies and there's no dust jacket on it. It's just one of those green hardbacked books that the Dublin Institute for Advanced Studies is known to publish. And it is called The Heroic Biography of Cormac MacArt by Tomás O'Cahassey. So Cormac MacArt would be one of the most famous of the High Kings of Tara. So again, another one that I'm very much looking forward to reading. Probably the most recent arrival in the library is another work by another brilliant scholar and a lady who has published an astonishing volume of work and who has been heavily involved in the discovery program at the Hill of Tara for the last 20 or 25 years. Indeed, this publication was part supported by that discovery program, along with Meath County Council, Offaly County Council, Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage, and one other, Wicklow County Council. And it is called Monasticism in Ireland, AD 900 to AD 1250, and the author is the very well-known Edel Vranach. So that's another one. Very, very, very... I've already been dipping into this one, in fact. And yeah, much to ponder about and much to be learned. And every day is a learning day for Mythical Ireland. And were it not for these wonderful scholars, a lot of these live streams, a lot of my books and the website, my blog posts and podcasts, etc., just simply wouldn't be possible. I call it standing on the shoulders of giants. Johnny Wilson has joined us from Dallas, Texas, where it's 25 and dropping. Well, never mind. I mean, it's 15 degrees warmer than it is here in the Boyne Valley right now. 10 Celsius here. Michael Pike says, greetings, Anthony. I was only just able to view today's broadcast. Well, it's only started. So hopefully you're able to watch the whole thing. Michael, always a pleasure. Rothio tells us Dia de Muertos is Day of the Dead. We celebrate with flowers, colourful decorations, good food and family gatherings to remember our loved ones and hope for their souls to be among us during those days where the line between this world and the other is very thin. The tables are full with things the dead used to love. Isn't that fantastic? I think that's just a most beautiful celebration. John Inman says, I'm not just a bibliophile, but also a scholarship groupie. SP, good to see you. And also you, John. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, I know. I'd like to hang out with all these people. I'd like to have a big, long, week-long conversation around a table with these people. Yes. It would have to be recorded, wouldn't it? So we could podcast it afterwards, Maureen Joy says, hopefully you won't experience the Twilight Zone. The next one is a small book, but again, referring to something I said earlier on, there's good goods in small parcels. This was published by the Columba Press back in 2013, and it is called The Great Irish Crosses, Meaning and Mystery. And depicted on its cover is a cross that I recognize. It is one of the 3 extant high crosses, 4 in Kells in County Meath. I'm not sure if it says actually. Yeah, but anyway, it's either 3 or 4. It's 3 anyway. So that should be interesting. Let me just quickly read that now, just to settle my uncertainty. Kells. 4 highly significant sandstone crosses in Kells, 2 of which are still complete. Oh, yeah. The 4th one is under the canopy down at the the tourist office. It used to be on Market Street. There's 3 in the graveyard and 1, 4. How did I not even think of that? Next one is a subject that's probably apt for the time of year we're at too. Published first in 1996. The author is Patricia Lysett. Originally published, in 1986 by the Glendale Press. This paperback edition first published by the O'Brien Press in Dublin. And it is called The Banshee, the Irish supernatural death messenger. The Banshee is a well-known supernatural figure in Irish folk tradition. In origin, a patron goddess caring for the fortunes of her people, the Banshee of folk belief is usually considered to be a harbinger of death and is said to follow certain families. Traditions about her are spread widely throughout the country. So yeah, another brilliant book for the Mythical Ireland Library. And last but not least, for now anyway, is the biggest and heaviest of them all. Are we live? Says Desiree. No, it is a figment of your imagination, or as we say when we're trying to be funny, it is a fig roll of your imagination. Is Amadeus watching? Hello? Here, boy. Here, Amadeus. He's a good boy. Huh? Yeah, I can see him sniffing the screen and cocking the head from side to side going, oh, he called my name. It's him. Oh, yeah, I recognize that voice. Had a problem with the Facebook feed. YouTube working. Always, just for the newcomers especially. I know you're not a newcomer, Marilyn, but for the newcomers, if your Facebook feed is stodgy, head over to the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel. It tends to be more stable. They had an episode. Will a book lover survive a disaster and was all alone with a library full of books? He was in paradise until his eyeglasses fell off and the lenses broke. Oh, I can only imagine. Oh, no, that wouldn't be very nice, would it? No. A slightly more sort of historic and academic and ecclesiastical publication, but this one, oh, yeah. 1,080 pages. Yeah. Pardon me, I'm just going to do a bit of reading here. You can all do your own thing there now. The author of this book, the editors, A.J. Hughes and William Nolan, published first in 2001, consisting of chapters by various different scholars and authors. 30 chapters in total. List of figures, list of plates, contributors and editors, list of abbreviations. Yeah, this is a big one. But I'm telling you, I already know this is going to be very valuable. Armagh, History and Society. Just in case you're wondering, and you may not be, but just in case you're wondering, Armagh, what? This isn't entirely an ecclesiastical study. It's a study of the clans and the tribes, the O'Neills, the plantations, the church, medieval Armagh, and the Ulster cycle is mentioned, artifacts and archaeology. I mean, this is absolutely, I have no doubt. So could I pick some favorites? I've shown you 8. The ones that will sort of draw my attention first. The Irish Annals, Monasticism in Ireland, Armagh. It's hard to pick favourites. I know that's going to be brilliant. Ireland and the Grail, Cormac McGurk, the Banshee. As I said, Thornyton is not the sort of book you would pick up and read from cover to cover. In fact, you wouldn't even read a few pages of it. It's more. I think it's more a reference book, like a little bit like a dictionary. I don't know. Any of you out there ever read a dictionary from cover to cover? I don't think so, unless you're very, very strange. Terry's Hiking Travels. Hello, Terry's Hiking Travels on YouTube. Been to Armagh Cathedral as a child on holidays with my relatives in Tyrone. I'm 73, so that wasn't yesterday. Wow. Did you see the stuff they have in the cellar, in the crypt? Some very nice things down there. Looks like I'm going to be on YouTube only tonight. Facebook is being the devil. Can't blame you, Desiree. YouTube just works, you know. I've read a plant reference book from cover to cover, says Amanda June. It's not quite the same as a dictionary, but it's close. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but like, you know, whatever you're into. Anthony, our 2 big dogs are in. Our giant schnauzer, Sean Thornton, yes, named for John Wayne's character in The Quiet Man, keeps cocking his head. He's listening and fascinated by your brogue. Hello there, Sean Thornton. Sean Thornton. Come here, boy. He's a good dog. He's a good boy. Has he got a funny walk like John Wayne? Never mind. Ard Wacha Macha's height says, Paddy McCovale. Yes, indeed, Paddy, 100%. Amadeus loved his hello. Not sure what is going on with Facebook. It's being nuts. Hey, tell us something new, huh? No problem. I am on the last 30 pages of 32 words for field. Picks up book. Hey, no getting distracted. That's not allowed. Barb Jordan's in the house. Hello, Barb. A very good afternoon. Right. We'll get reading, will we? Oh, I need to go over from Scotland again. Hey, sure you could nearly walk over, you know. Get on a cow's back, and I'm sure a cow could swim from Stranraer over to Larne. It's a fairly short hop. No. Just catching up here and making sure everything's good. Yeah, let's do this. The Wedding of Maine Morgor, Chapter 10 of Cuchulain of Muirthemne by Lady Gregory. Well, her translation. I refuse to read a dictionary, says Paddy. They're pure plagiarism. I used to have a copy of Mrs. Burns' Dictionary of Unusual, Obscure, and Preposterous Words as a kid. That was a well-thumbed book. I probably read every word of it 2 or 3 times. I think that's okay. If that's the kind of dictionary you read, I think that's more acceptable. Not that I'm judging anybody for reading a dictionary, but it is just a bit odd. Let's be honest. Strange. I just started to read a German lexicon from 1931 in search for old German words. Moncon made me. Good old Moncon. We are going up to Ishnok on Saturday next to scatter his ashes. I suspect there will be a huge crowd there to give him a send-off. Andrew Christie's in the house. Good evening, Andrew, joining us on YouTube. Hope you're in good form and all ready for story time. When Maine Morgor, the very dutiful, the son of Leland of Maeve, set out for his wedding with Ferv, Ferb, daughter of Gurg of Ra-Ini in Ulster, he brought 3 troops of young men with him. How's the sound? Is it okay? 1 2 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 2 1. He brought 3 troops of young men with him, and 50 men in each troop. There's thrice 50, and this is the appearance that was on the first 2 troops. Shining white shirts they had, striped with purple down the sides, gold shields on their backs with borders of white silver, with figures engraved on them, and with edges of white bronze as sharp as knives. Bit dodgy getting into those shirts in the morning, huh? You want to be careful you weren't too tired or hungover. You could cut yourself trying to put one of those shirts on your back. Chains of white silver round their necks, and there were neither helmets on their heads nor shoes on their feet. Yeah, a lot of people reporting problems with Facebook. Please, if you're having trouble with Facebook, head on over to YouTube. The viewer numbers seem to be lower than usual, so I suspect that's a lot to do with the problem with Facebook. So head over to the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel. If you're watching on a computer, just type in www.youtube.com/Mythical Ireland. If you're using the YouTube app, just go to search and go Mythical Ireland, all one word, and you'll find it fairly quickly. And as to the 3rd troop, the one that Maine himself was in, there were 50 reddish-brown horses in it, and 50 white horses with red ears, with long manes and tails coloured purple, and bridles on them, with a ball of red gold on the one side, and a ball of white silver on the other. Sounds a little bit like the sun and the moon, doesn't it? And a gold or a silver bit to every one of them. A collar of gold with bells from it on the neck of every horse. And when the horses would be moving, the sound of these bells would be as sweet as the strings of a harp when the player strikes it with his hand. There was a chariot of white bronze ribbed with gold and silver to every 2 of the horses, purple cushions sewed with gold bound to every chariot, 50 fair, slender young men in these 50 chariots, and not one among them was but the son of a king and a queen, and was a hero and a brave man of Connacht. And they wearing purple cloaks about them, that had borders ornamented with gold and silver, and a clasp of pure red gold to every cloak. Fine silk coats fastened with hooks of gold close to their white bodies. 50 silver shields on their backs with gold rims, studded with carbuncles and other precious stones of every colour. 2 candles of valour were the 2 shining spears on the hand of every man of them. 50 rivets of bronze and of gold in every spear. And if any man of them had a debt of a bushel of silver or gold, 1 rivet from his spear would pay it. Wow. They were rigged out very expensively by the sounds of it. And there were precious stones on their spears that would flame in the night like the rays of the sun. And at their belts they had long gold-hilted swords with silver sheaths, goads in their hands of white bronze with silver crooks. And as to the young men themselves, they were very handsome and stately, and large and shining, curled yellow hair on them, hanging down on their shoulders, proud, clear blue eyes, their cheeks like the flowers of the woods in May, or like the foxglove of the mountains. There were 7 greyhounds following Manya's chariot in chains of silver, and apples of gold on every chain. There were 7 trumpeters with gold and silver trumpets, wearing clothes of many colours, and having all of them light yellow hair. And 3 druids were in front of them, and they having bands of silver on their heads, and speckled cloaks on them, and carrying shields of bronze with ornaments of red copper. And there were 3 harpers with them, that had the appearance of kings. And one of the fascinating things about that passage is it is typical of so many passages that are descriptive of people and bands of warriors in the Irish myths and legends. They're almost effusive in their detail and description. It's almost like they go to exaggerated lengths to let you know just how beautifully arrayed these folk were, and the detail, the effort, and the expense of arraying them thus. Now, I know this is myth, but remember, weren't we talking a long time ago now about Professor Jim Mallory, J.P. Mallory's book In Search of the Irish Dreamtime, and the likes of John Waddell's what is it called? Celtic archaeology and Celtic myth, or something like that. I have it there. I should know the title of it. He confidently declares that he has it, and then he can't find it. Although I have 1,600 books in this library, so who'd blame me for not being able to find it? Yeah, it's called Archaeology and Celtic Myth. Remembering that when the stories were being written down, that sort of detail about weapons and dress code, etc., and musical instruments, very much pertains to the time in which the story was written down, and not necessarily the time of the origin of the story. And in many cases, the time of the origin of the story is a great unknown. Amanda June is sharing a joke. Here's a good joke I saw recently. 3 moles are in a tunnel. The first says, I smell sugar. The second says, I smell honey. The third says, I smell molasses. Boom, boom. Yeah, Facebook keeps saying you were live and won't let you listen live. So we're all partying on YouTube tonight. I suspect there'll be a lot more jokes than chatter on YouTube. Yeah, so the number of viewers is less than half of what it usually is. The streaming fell. It stopped at 16:55. Unfortunately, yeah, that is completely out of my hands, out of my control. Send a letter to Mark Zuckerberg complaining. How is it that all of the women in Irish mythology always are the most beautiful? That's because Irish women are beautiful. I know, because I'm married to one. Hey! Brownie point scored. I had a Polish friend who was a sound engineer. I had a check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Oh, Paddy, you're scraping the barrel there. But hey, you can't go much lower than I usually go. Yes, indeed. I think I've caught up. It is like that. It is like that they gathered. It is like that they gathered at the royal house of Cuchulain, and they went 3 times round the lawn before the house. And they said farewell to Maeve and to Ailil, and then they set out for Rathini. It is a fine setting out you are having, said Brickroo, but maybe the coming back will not be so fine. It is a journey that will be heard of in every place, said Manya. I suppose, said Brickroo. It is but a day visit you will make there, for you will hardly stop to feast through the night in a district that is under Conchobar. I give my word, said Manya. We will not turn back to Cuchulain till we have feasted 3 days and 3 nights in Gurg's house. He did not waste any more time talking, but set out on the journey. When the messengers they sent before them came to Gurg's house at Rathini, the people there began to make all ready before them, and they laid down green-leaved birch branches and fresh green rushes in the house. Then Farav sent her foster sister Findcoim, daughter of Erg, and bade her go a part of the way with the messengers, and bring her back word what appearance was on Manya and on his companions. She was not long away, and as soon as she came back, she went with her report to the sunny parlour where Farav was. Interesting. I always think that's interesting. Sunny parlour. Probably translated from what's it called? Green. The Irish for a sunny house. Agreeing on, yeah. Where Farav was. And it is what she said. I never saw since Concovar was in Awan, and I never will see till the end of life and time, a finer or grander or a more beautiful troop than the troop that is coming now over the plain. It was the same as if I was in a sweet apple garden, from the sweetness that came to me when the light wind passed over them and stirred their clothes. With that, the men of Connacht came to the dun, and the people within pressed upon one another to look at them. And the gates were set open, and their chariots unyoked, and baths of pure water were made ready for them. And then they were brought into the hall of heroes in the middle of the house, and they were given every sort of food and of drink that is to be found on the whole ridge of the world. Ridge of the world, that's an interesting one. I must actually look up what the Irish is for that. Drum is usually a drum. Drum on that one? Yeah, I must delve deeper into that one. That's not the first time we've seen that one. We've seen it on a number of occasions. So every sort of food and drink. So somebody in the troop will be going, have you got anything that's gluten-free? I don't eat gluten. I can't take gluten. Have you got any dairy-free? You know, oh, I don't eat meat. You know, have you got, what's the vegetarian options? And I have no idea why I'm speaking in an English accent, other than it sounds very Monty Pythonish. And yeah, well, we've done the whole descent into Monty Python madness on this live stream on more than one occasion. But as they were using the feast and making merry, using the feast, wow, what a peculiar turn of phrase. As they were using the feast and making merry, there came a sudden blast of wind that shook the whole place, so that the hall they were in trembled, and the shields fell from their hooks, and the spears from their places, and the tables fell like leaves in an oak wood. All the young men were astonished, and Gurg asked Manya's druids what meaning they could put on that blast. And Olgaith, Manya's chief druid, said, I think it is no good sign for those who are come tonight to this wedding. A blast of wind, he said, a sorrowful sound. It is the man that will conquer. And that's where we leave it for this evening, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. Slán go fóill. We'll see you next week. Everybody's like, no, we've only just started. There's no way we could be finished already. I just felt there was kind of a bit of a cliffhanger moment there, you know, that we could possibly have ended an episode on. But don't worry, I am going to read on. Don't drop off. Don't shut down your computers and your phones just now. A shield struck out of a white hand. The bodies of dead men laid under stones. A high stone over stiff bodies. The story is sorrowful. So this is still Ulgaith, Manya's chief druid. And if you will take my advice, he said, you will quit this feast this very night. Well, Brickrew had kind of said that before Manya and his troop left Croken. He said, it's only one day or one night you'll be there for. You won't be staying, you know. Terry's hiking travels almost left. Yeah, so something that Terry's hiking travels, if you haven't been watching, something you'll know about me is I have something of a wry sense of humor. But he got a sharp rebuke from Manya for saying that. So here's another thing. We can see it happening, right? But before it happens, because I actually don't know this story, I'm not really familiar with it at all. We can see where it's like somebody saying something like Deirdre and the Sorrows, somebody saying it's like those horror movies. What was that noise down in that door at the end of that long hallway full of doors? Oh, I don't know, but let's not go down there and investigate. Don't go down there. Don't open that door. Let's just go off somewhere else and try to go to bed and go to sleep. And they always go down the hall to the door. You can see it building up, the prognosticators, whatever you might call them, the seers, the druids are basically saying, this isn't going to go well. Get out of there. And of course, Manya is just brushing the hand, going, no, not at all, not at all. It'll be grand. Stop your waffling. But he got a sharp rebuke from Manya for saying that. And Garreg said, there is no cause for any uneasiness. Sounds spoken in my best sort of impression of a politician. For the men of Ulster are not gathered at Awan at this time. And if they were itself, that's what it says, and if they were itself, he said, I and my 2 sons would be ready to go out and fight against Conchobar along with you. They hung up their arms then again and gave no more heed to what the druid had said. Bad idea, folks. There's only one thing worse than not listening to a druid. And I'm going to allow comments on that. What am I talking about, folks? What is the one thing in Irish myth repeatedly through all the episodes we've had that we've seen time and time again? What is worse than not listening to the druid? And it's not listening to the druid. It's not listening to... Yeah, let me have your thoughts. Now, on the morning of this very day, not listening to the woman, Amanda June Haggerty, yes! If there was a prize, you would be its winner. But there's no prize except for being quick and brilliant. Exactly, not listening to the woman. Now, on the morning of this very day, when Conchobar was lying in his sleep at Awan, he saw in a dream a beautiful woman coming to his bedside, and she having the appearance of a queen. So here's another quiz. Breaking a gesh or a gasa. Yeah, actually, that's a good one, Paddy. Absolutely. And you're probably right. It's well up there, but that's not what I was looking for. This one is a recurring theme. Amanda is bang on the money. Not listening to the woman proves disastrous. We see it with the Milesians and Dunn telling Amergin to pay no heed of Eru. Silly boy. So here's another test. So Conchobar is sleeping and he dreams of a beautiful woman coming to his bedside. In what other myth do we have that theme? Male figure sleeping and a beautiful female comes to him in his sleep. Now, there could be more than one answer, but I'm thinking of one specifically that I've spoken and written a lot about. So there's another test for you to answer. Yellow plaited hair she had, and folds of silk over her white skin, and a cloak of green silk from her shoulders, and 2 sandals of white bronze between her soft feet and the ground. All be good with you, Conchobar, she said. So that was odd. Yeah, something odd happening tonight, because now the title of the title has changed. Can you hear me and see me again? I see people saying, whoops, oh no. Yeah, there's definitely some technical issues tonight. Let me just change the episode title, because for some reason it has changed back. Should be 347 episode 347 Cuchulain of Muirthemne 13, but for some reason at the top of the stream it's displaying 12, and I can't change that because it's 13 here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go. It's changed now. Anyway, just let me know if am I back? Is everybody okay? And he's back. What is the reason of your coming, said Conchobar. It is not long from this time, she said, that Ulster will be attacked and will be robbed, and the brown bull of Cuchulain will be driven away. And the son of the man that will do this thing, she said, Maine Morgor, son of Ailill and Maeve, is coming this very night to his wedding with Ferrav, daughter of Gerg of Rath Inni, and 3 times 50 young men with him. Rise up now, she said. There are but 3 times 50 men against you, and the victory will be with you. So here we are, quite clearly in a scenario of not just thrice 50, of a woman dispensing advice to a key figure in the myth. Will the man listen to the woman? Then Conchobar sprang up and sent for Cavad the druid and told him his vision. It is likely enough, he said. So here now, Conchobar is doubting the provenance of the story or the truth of the story, and is seeking a man's advice about it, because the woman's advice wasn't enough. It is like, excuse me, I'm going to have to take a drink for a moment. Pardon me while I sup on some orangeade. Yes, eSpark61. Is that Adina Sparks? Dream of Angus. 100% right. Ashlinga Anguso is exactly what I was thinking about when I made reference to a key male figure being approached by a beautiful woman in a dream. Thank you, and well done for being the first to answer. Am I still on air? I hope so. So Leslie says no. Amanda June says probably not. Don't know what that's about. Oh yeah, probably not. As in listen to the man. Yeah. Amanda June. Oh, did you pick up a gremlin? I don't know. It just seems to be the night of. Yeah, Leslie saying the same thing. Spooky. Where was I? It is likely enough, he said, this is Cavad talking back to Conchobar, that it is meant to warn us against the men of Connacht. And you may be sure, he said, that if we stop here quietly, they will be doing their robbery. And let me have the truth from you now, and tell me what is best to do, for there is not the like of you among the Druids. This is Conchobar talking back to Cavad. And Cavad said, it is what your vision means, that many men will get their death, and Maine of Connacht, he that is above all disgrace, along with them, and he and his companions will never go back again to beautiful Cuchulain. But you yourself will come back safe, he said, with fame and victory. Mariana Dunn, yeah, a lot of people are having trouble with Facebook this evening, Mariana, and I'm seeing a serious decrease in the number of live viewers compared to normal. So Facebook is completely fecked up, feckbook this evening. So the advice is to watch on YouTube, and pretty much all the viewers who are commenting are watching on YouTube. The Facebook feed failed for some reason. Then Conchobar set out, and there went with him Cuchulain, a queen with a great name, that had come to Awan from the country of Spain for the love of Cuchulain. Wow. And she went out now with Conchobar's army. And there went with him as well the three outlaws of the race of the Fomorians, Sheovarcha, son of Sulramara, and Berngal Breck, and Buri of the rough word. And Facen, fucking Facen, Facen. Yeah. Oh, he could have so much fun with that. Yeah. I hope he doesn't make a fool of himself, because then he would be a fucking idiot. You see, I told you the humor is pretty puerile, juvenile. Yes, definitely. And Facen, son of Dublongshech of the old stock of Ulster, came, and Favric Feacal. So Feacal is teeth. So Favric. Interesting to know what that is. Something to do with teeth. From Great Asia. And Forish Fingalach from the Isle of Man. So Conchobar set out, and 3 times 50 men with him. Here we go, thrice 50, which we think is not exactly 150, but a large and uncountable number. Behave, lol. Yeah. Did you say the F word? I think I did, but not the usual one, the other one. And he brought home none of the men of Ulster with him, but himself and his chariot. Pardon me, sorry, something dinging here. Ooh, French Guiana's on 20 meters. Exciting. Oh, there you go. Sure, let's give him a call. Never mind. But himself and his chariot driver Brod, and Imrin the Druid, Kavad's son, and none of them brought a servant with him, except only Conchobar, but their shields on their backs, and their bright green spears in their hands, and their heavy swords in their belts. And if they were not many in number, the pride of their minds was great. When they were come within sight of Rathini, they saw a great heavy cloud over it, and one end of it black, and the middle red, and the other end green. Wow, that's a weird color mix of colors for clouds. And Conchobar asked Imrin the Druid, "What is this cloud over the house a token of?" "Truly," said Imrin, "it is a sign there will be fighting tonight. And the sorrow of death will be on the house like a cloud, and it is for a young man the death darkness is made ready." Then Conchobar went on towards the dun, and just at that time the great vat that belonged to the house, and that afterwards got the name of the Ol Gola, was brought into the feasting hall, and it full of wine, red or white. Perhaps a bottle of rosé instead. But whoever went to draw it, let the silver vessel fall into the vat, so that the wine flowed over the edges in 3 waves. "My grief," said Olgaith the Druid. Ol, Gaeth, sounds, looks like it might be a Gui, wind. Ol means ample or sort of good. The good wind. The Druid of the good wind. "My grief," said Olgaith the Druid, "it is not long before these vessels will be with strangers. He is not a happy son born of a mother that is in this house tonight." Then Conchobar came to the door, and the strangers that were with him gave him their shout of attack around the dun, as their custom was. At that, Garug rose up, and his 2 sons with him, Cun Coscarach and Covthach Gneshgel, and they took a hold and they took hold of their arms. And Greg, I will start that sentence again. And Gerg said to Manya, let this be fought out now between us men of Ulster, till you see which of us is the bravest. And we are all answerable for you, and it is best for you that we should fight together. But if we fall, then let you hold the place if you can. Let's go to see where we are in terms of page count. Go halfway and then read the other half next week, I think. Then Conchobar came to the door, and the strangers that were with him gave their shout of attack around the dun, as their custom was. Yes, I've read that already. Yes. Never mind. Apologies. That's live TV for... Oh, Rex Fortenberry is watching on Facebook. So, Rex, there's considerable problems with Facebook tonight. A number of people have reported that the feed has completely failed. Almost everybody who's commenting is watching on YouTube. But you've managed to get in on Facebook. Greetings, all the lads and lasses of the mighty Tua. I am alive and well after my walkabout. Some 8,344 miles travelled and wonderful sights seen. A shout out to the Colorado Tua. Howdy, gang. Let's get Mythical. Great to see you, Rex. By the way, I suspect you're an hour late. Well, you are, because it's 9:01 here. Here in Ireland, we fell back at the weekend. Our clocks went back by an hour in the early hours of Sunday morning. So there's a smaller time difference. So forgive me for that. Forgive me for a couple of centuries of archaic clock changing practices. Probably not even a couple of centuries. Anyways, great to see you, Rex. And wow, 8,004. Were you sort of halfway around the world, or was that all in the one state, or what? Laughing my LMAO, the great Celtic warrior, Greg. Yeah, it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? You know? Yeah. And we're talking about that fucking FACEN. It'd be hard to have that name in school. I would always be late to fucking school. Fucking, why are you late for school? Don't you mean why am I late for fucking school? I'm sorry, I'm getting much too joy out of that. It's like that joke among the pilots when, you know, there's a number of planes in the in the stack for landing at an airport, and they're all descending towards the runway, and there's a Fokker aircraft, a twin engine or a single engine twin engine prop plane, and behind it is a Boeing 747 jumbo jet, and the tower says to the 747 pilot, you know, you have traffic ahead 3 miles in front of you, on finals for runway 23. Do you have him in sight? And of course, the answer from the 747 pilot is, yeah, copy that, tower. We have the little Fokker in sight. Brilliant. Yes. I'm deriving far too much pleasure from this. Let me get on with the reading, shall I? And then Greg, also known as Gerg, G-E-R-G, and then Gerg went out, and his 2 sons along with him, and their people. And they held the place and fought Conchobar outside. And for a long time, they did not let anyone go past them. Hang on, I just want to see exactly where the halfway mark is now. Sorry. Yeah, another page to page and a half. We should be about halfway. And for a long time, they did not let anyone go past them. And Gerg's son stood outside the door, and the hewing and cutting was aimed at him on every side. And 5 men of the Fomor fell by him, and Imrin the Druid along with them. And he cut his head off and brought it to the door with him. Then Carach Cuchulain came between him and the door, and she made a sharp attack on him. Well, I'm glad, because let's be honest, In an epic story such as this, to say that she made a blunt attack on him wouldn't quite have the same effect. It would be a little bit like saying, it would be a little bit like calling Alexander the Great Alexander the Average, Alexander the barely sufficient, you know. She made a sharp attack on him, and Gurg struck her head off and brought it back with him into the house, for he had got a hard wound. And he threw the heads down before Manya, and he sat down on a bed, and he gave a heavy sigh and asked for a drink, as you do when you've got a very large flesh wound. No. You don't first seek the first aid kit or the medic. Drink first, and then all that stuff later, And then Conchobar and his people came up to the wall, and they were holding their shields over their heads with their left hands and tearing down the wall with their right hands till they were able to make their way through it. Then Brod, Conchobar's chariot driver, threw one of the spears he had in his hand into the house, and it went through Gurg's body and through the body of Arishjech, his servant that was behind him. Oh, unlucky place to be at that moment in time. So that the two of them fell together. And Conchobar attacked Gurg's people in the house, so that 30 of them fell, and he killed Con, Gurg's son, by his own hand, and many of his own people got their death as well. And thus, ladies and gentlemen, was the sudden and sad end of Greg the Great. Poor Greg. There's a bit of fun in this. Wouldn't it be fun if you were there and you were involved watching all of this horror unfolding before your eyes? But hey, it's a story. And, is it based on reality? Probably better not to think about that sort of thing right now. Oh, here's a question. How would you pronounce Treflngid? Thrucker. I'm more confident about the surname, the second name. Treflngid. And I don't know about translation. Absolutely don't. Paddy says, Greg got kebabbed by Con. He fairly got skewered. Smurf thinks that the head hunting was interesting. The whole city decorated with skulls. Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Then Nuagal, Gurg's wife, rose up. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned or deprived of a husband. And she gave 3 great angry cries of grief, and she took the head of her husband into her bosom. By my word, she said, it is a fine servant's deed, Brod, to have killed Gurg in his own house. But there are many, she said, that will keen you, and as you have fallen on account of your daughter, many women shall have sorrow on account of you. And she made this complaint. It is a good fight Gurg made that is lying here now, the fair-haired champion with the red sword, he that was proud, open-handed, brave, wise, beautiful. Where is there a better hero than Gurg? Where is the man that has not anger on him? Where is the army that does not keen for your death? It is grief to me to see you on your bed of death, O beautiful fair-haired Gurg. It is a pity for me, you to be dead. Before you, here in Ratheni, and at Luchanya, and at Irard, and in the valleys of the south, there were many women who gave you their love. You were the friend of every army. Everyone gave you full obedience. Your friendly word was dear to everyone. Surely it is you were the good advisor. It is great indeed your deeds were. It is stately your assemblies were. You were a king among great lords. Your house was great. It was well known, the house within which harm came to you. It was there Brod killed you, in the Hall of Kings. It was a great harm and a great curse Brod put on us, he to kill a king of Ireland before his time. He has killed him. He has killed all of us along with him. And doesn't that Keening poem from Nuagal, Gurg's wife, doesn't it have a very, I think, Tolkien-esque air to it? You could almost imagine the same thing being said or sung upon, for instance, the death of Boromir in Lord of the Rings. And I have no doubt that Tolkien and others were very heavily influenced in their reading of European and in particular Celtic mythology. Yeah, Gretchen, watching on YouTube. Yes, there is a problem with the Facebook feed tonight. It has failed for some reason. We're not sure why. Everybody that's watching at the moment is watching on YouTube, except for Rex Fortenberry, who seems to have found a way in on Facebook remarkably. So yeah, YouTube works apparently perfectly well, but we did have one glitch earlier. Thanks, Anthony, says Andrew. I've had a try to decipher. It seems to mean triple heart, triple tongued. Oh, wow. The settling of the manor of Tara is attributed to him. Very good. Yes. In which Fintan mac Bócra settles the argument about why does the king have so much land. Yes, indeed. Then Gurg's two sons said they would hold the place, and they were not without killing many in the fight. So, again, so remember, Lady Gregory's trying to translate as literally as possible. But what a way to word it. And they were not without killing many in the fight. Whereas in English, if we were writing that, we would just say, and they killed many in the fight. Then Manya could not hold his strength any longer, which, let's face it, is not a good sign. And he went out to avenge his father-in-law. And his 3 times 50 companions rose up along with him, and it was not easy to stand against them. Again, you could say it was difficult to stand against them. There was great pride in the mind and great courage in the heart of every one of them. And there was great desire and longing on them to do high deeds. And as to Manya, the king's son, he was stately, kind, mannerly. And although he was hardly out of his boyhood, he was braver in the fight than any other. He was gentle in the drinking house, and he was hard in battle, and he was mindful of his enemies, and he was pitiful in wounding, and a splendour of treasure, and a stone of anger, and a wave of justice. And he was the head in the gatherings of the 3 connachts, and their hand in spending, and their fitting king. Now, let me just check something here while I'm talking to you. Sorry. So this story of the wedding of Maine Morgor is not, in fact, I think, one of the Remscale or the 4 tales to Toynbee Cuchulain. By the way, so we're finished for tonight. We're going to finish the wedding story next week, and then we're on to the big story of the Cuchulain of Muirthemne stories, sagas, which is the war for the bull of Cuchulain, the actual Toynbee Cuchulain. And that's going to be a long one. That's going to last several episodes. So the Remscale, let me just make sure. that I have this right, because I want to make sure I have it from a scholarly source. So the ones that are considered the most significant rem, well, maybe it is. I could be wrong about it not being, but the most significant of the rem scale or the rem scala, the Chofor in Dá Muchida, the tale of the two pig keepers or swineherds, Ashlinga Anguso, the dream of Angus. We'll be talking about that tonight. Toynbo Regauna, the cattle raid of Regavan, MH Regawan. Toynbo Freke, which we did some episodes on, and we were talking about recently. Toynbo Dardata, the cattle raid of Dartad. Tochmark Emera, the wooing of Emer. Fled Bricker's feast, and I did Ainfer Aoife, the death of Aoife's only son. Yeah, so we have definitely read some of those. Not sure about the tale of the two pig keepers. We've done Toynbo Freke. We've certainly done aspects of Tochmark Emera, but I suspect we did the whole thing in several episodes. Bricker's feast we did. I did Ainfer Aoife. I don't definitely mentioned it in various episodes. I'm not sure if we've done it in full. So plenty of stuff still. As I said, there's tons and tons of stuff. English is a language of pig herders. If the Milesian story is true, says Smurf, I'm of the line of Heber. Is your name Murphy by any chance? Is it Heber or Erimon? I had given to understand that the Murphys claim to be descended from Erimon. Yeah. But of course, I'm not saying I'm right. And I can't remember where I read that, to be honest. Anyway, comments and questions, welcome. We've been on for an hour and 22 minutes, so. And I don't have to put the bins out tonight. Why? Because it's Tuesday night. I did that last night, and they were collected this morning. Yay! Victory for me, right? Anything coming up that we need to mention? I'm at Ishnock on the 8th, Saturday, the 8th of November, which is Saturday week, for their Samhain festival. They're famous. Ishnock is famous for its Bealtaine festival. Now they're having a Samhain festival. I'll be doing some storytelling, it looks like, and also I'm giving a talk about astronomy. If the night is clear, we'll be doing that on the top of the hill under the stars. If it's not clear, we'll be doing it in a tent, and I'll have to bring out a computer and show you some other things. But for tickets, ishnock.ie. That's, oh yeah, I better spell that just in case some of you are not familiar. UISNEACH.ie for tickets for the Samhain Festival. Looking forward to seeing some of you there. As I say, I've the Northern Ireland astronomers on next Monday, the 3rd. Let me just check my calendar to see if there's stuff that I need to mention. An interesting one. On the 23rd of November, I will feature, along with dozens and dozens of other musicians, in a mass being broadcast on RTE TV on Sunday morning, the 23rd of November, I think at 11 a.m. I will be playing a replica of an 8th century horn. So some of you may know I'm in a brass band, have been for years and years, play the euphonium. So I will be playing that and possibly a replica of an Ard Bryn trumpet as well. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Jamie Davern is saying, good day, tuning in from Maine in the US. You're very welcome, Jamie, just at the end of the episode. But of course, we will encourage you, absolutely, please do come back for next week's episode. So we usually live stream on a Monday at 8 p.m. Irish time. but because of various things that have been on, this one is postponed from yesterday to Tuesday. Next week's episode is also on Tuesday evening because I am giving that talk in near Belfast on Monday about astronomy. What else? The Mythical Ireland 2026 calendar went to print today. If you've pre-ordered it, thank you. Free shipping to those of you on the island of Ireland. Love to be able to offer that to the rest of the world, but unfortunately shipping postage is expensive from Ireland. If you haven't yet ordered your calendar or pre-ordered, I'll just share the link there. Of course, it's mythicalireland.com is the website, and just go to the shop there and you'll find it fairly quickly. It's in the drop down under calendar. I hope that you really enjoy the choice of photographs for this year's calendar. And as I say, thank you all of those who have pre-ordered. Nothing really. Yeah, it's not worth really starting to talk about December just yet. It's too far away, and yet the time will fly. Absolutely, you know it will. Yeah. So that's it for this evening. If you're new to Mythical Ireland, do subscribe to the YouTube. And I would encourage you to watch on YouTube because it just tends to be a more stable stream than on Facebook. Don't forget the website, mythicalireland.com. There's tons and tons of stuff there. Days and days of reading. The YouTube channel, of course, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of video. And I'm not kidding you about that. Hundreds of hours. There's 15 or 1600 videos on the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel. Follow the if you want to subscribe to the email newsletter, that's free. Do so on mythicalireland.com on the website. Just pop in your email address and you'll get an email asking you to confirm. That's at most once a week emails about various news announcements and things that are happening. If you want to support Mythical Ireland, please do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Mythical Ireland, where among other things, you have exclusive and first access to pictures, videos, podcasts, book excerpts, articles, blog posts, etc., etc., etc. And if you sign up at higher levels, you get free merchandise as well. You will also get access to some of the video interviews that I've done over the last 5 or 6 years, and the podcast series, which is available only to patrons at the Bronze Age level and above. In the meantime, I hope you all have a fabulous week. In advance, happy Halloween, and we'll have to devote an episode to Samhain as well, which will be at the back end of next week. So watch out for that. We'll do something to celebrate Samhain. In the meantime, as I say, stay safe, stay well, and I hope wherever you are in the world, you have a really, really good week. Thanks all for joining us. No level gets a calendar. You have to buy the calendar, unfortunately, Amanda. Yeah. Well, there it is. I gave you the link. Thank you for eSpark. Hope everyone has a great week. Stay safe. Yes, indeed. And happy Halloween, as I say. And we'll be with you before Samhain. All going well on this day week. All the very best. A very good night to you all. Thanks for joining us. Ichawach, Kulasov, Slán Gafol. And all that remains for me to say is Tog Go Bugge, which means take it easy.